Hi, my name is Lage and I'm making a chess video game with custom pieces. In my last video I talked about how my next goal for the project would be to put a very early prototype up on itch.io to get some initial feedback. Since then I've been hard at work finishing the last things required for a public playtest, and I'm happy to say that my first prototype is now available for you to play in your browser. Let me tell you what I've been working on. The first thing I worked on was adding more custom pieces. This is a core functionality of the game, so I wanted to have at least one alternative to every standard chess piece. So without further ado, I present to you the Farmer, the Grappler, the Monolith, the Shy Ghost, the Fighter, and the Telekinetic. Each of these has a unique set of abilities that I'm hoping will make for some cool synergies. For example, the Monolith can't move by itself, but if it reaches the other side of the board, you instantly win the game. This pairs well with the Grappler that can pull other pieces towards it, and with the Telekinetic that can move friendly pieces around itself. These synergies will provide a base that I can expand upon even further when I add more pieces in the future. Next, in order for the player to be able to select their pieces, I worked on the main menu. I added a slot for each type of piece at the top, and I added 3 different opponents to pick from at the bottom. When selecting pieces, you get a preview of what each piece can do. And when you pick your opponent, you get a little message indicating the difficulty of that opponent. Since I knew I wanted the game to be playable on itch, I tried to have every label and image scale with the window size, so that the game looks good in small windows as well as in full screen mode. In addition to the main menu, I also added a very simple how to play info screen. When I showed the game to my brother, he got confused because he tried to click to move instead of dragging. If he got it wrong, I'm sure others will too, so I figured it's best to inform the player. I'll probably add an option sometime in the future so players can select which kind of input they prefer, but this is good enough for now, I think. Finally, I uploaded the build to itch, and the opponents didn't work at all. It was because I was using threads to have the opponent think in the background without freezing the game rendering. Threads don't work when exporting Godot games to HTML, so I had to replace all threads with some await process frame statements. I then tested it again, and it worked. And with that, I consider the prototype ready for an initial round of feedback. So check it out and let me know what you think. I've put the link to the itch page in the video description. I've been thinking about what I should work on next, and I've come up with 3 routes that could be good to go down at this point. The first would be to prototype the parts of the game that are outside of the board. My vision for the game is to have some kind of world outside of the board for the player to explore and find characters to play against. Another option would be to add more visual flair and juice to the board gameplay itself. The final option would be to just wait for player feedback on the current prototype and then go through it and focus on the parts where most players are struggling. I'm not quite sure how to prioritize between these options, so if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll focus on prototyping the world part of the game first while I wait for feedback to come in on the current prototype. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Peace.